And you've given us such a powerful testimony on the connection between sight and vision, the power of the human mind, the artist, foresight, vision. Is truly wonderful the way that you have that in your mind, and then you're able to bring that into a reality. They say that often use that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So it sounds like you like to tell a story through your art. And
Yeah.
I can see how you get that from, the focus on journalist photography. I also read on your website that one of the things that Video Window wants or compares itself to is this stained glass art of the Middle Ages. Kind of explain how you make that connection to the present day.
Yeah, sure. What was so nice about the church and the stained glass windows is that it allowed people who couldn't read to still get the stories behind what was being told there, and at their own pace. So they could come back into the church and then look at the stained glass windows. It was, yeah, like comic books almost. It was very pictorial, and it's a narrative in the glass. And what is similar is that we use the daylight also as our backlight. So it's not an actively illuminated screen that we have. We just block light in the exact same way as stained glass windows do. So in the night, it doesn't work. You need that daylight to illuminate it. And telling stories unites people. And that's what sight too is. You say, hey, did you see that? It's not that you really want to say, did you see that? No, it's hey, do we have that shared connection? Did you see that as well? Do you perceive it the same way as I do, and or maybe different? I see this, and then you have. That's how people connect. Sight is such a strong communicator in that sense, creating images is very much storytelling. One image can tell a story, and that is very powerful, and it also triggers your imagination. Actively looking and seeing things also gives you a sense of now and in the moment, even though something might be that depicts something from the past, but you experience it in the here and the now, looking at it, and that is a very strong catalyst. Is that the word? To get you into the here and now and have a shared experience. And that's why I also want to have it in the public domain, to create that shared experience, because that is very valuable. I was trying to, when I went back to all my old art books and my notes, I think one of the people that I started assisting was a commercials photographer, but he was also a fashion photographer, and he had a campaign in a bus stop, and it was just a fantastic picture. And he was also very much into Robert Frank and the Beatniks, and so that type of photography, the raw photography, he used in his commercials and commercial photography, and it was amazing to see all these great pictures in the bus stops. I thought, wow, that is the biggest museum you can have. Your prints are all over, and people can enjoy that. So because a lot of commercial photography is it's so one-dimensional, and I think you have a fantastic medium, and also with digital out of home, also the signage. You have TVs out there, the hundreds of squares of meters. And what do they show? They show very shallow stories. And hundreds of years ago, to get back to the stained glass, we already had quite deep stories going on in the glass. People could debate it. Hey, do you see that? Is this what it means? Is that what it means? I think it, and in that way you had a dialogue going. But with a lot of commercial stories, they don't want you to debate what is being told. They just basically say, this is what it is. And they try to make you believe into something, whereas I think you should explore. And if you figure out something by yourself, that's so much more convincing, because then, you know, it becomes part of you. Whereas I think if someone is telling you this is how it is, it's not your journey, it's someone else's journey. And that's what's happening with a lot of things that are in the visual domain these days, with a lot of social media stuff. Is it's copied stories, and there's little new out there that, you know, enriches you and expand your vocabulary, your visual vocabulary. You basically have very limited tunes. It all sounds the same, it all looks the same. And it could be so much richer. And that, yeah, I don't know, maybe that mission is too much. But we are trying to just show meaningful content. So we work with a lot of artists. So we work with the Royal Academy here in the Netherlands. We work with the Willem de Koning Art Academy, which is in Rotterdam, University of the Arts London. Those artists, they help in creating stories that are meaningful, that makes you think. We show poetry for glare control. So maybe explain a little bit what video window is right now, is that those pixels not only create an image, but as we need the daylight, it needs to be near the window. So at some point we got that question because we had blinds and shutters outside the window, and then the airport said, well, we need to maintain, you know, a certain temperature inside, and if you want the shades to go away, can you prove that you can control the heat? So that was a fantastic opportunity to show that, hey, look, we not only create or transform your window into a communication platform, we can actually control the amount of light entering the building, the amount of heat entering the building, saving energy. And then our whole proposition became so much stronger, because it helps save energy. Also, both in terms of cooling or heating the place, because in the winter you can allow more sunlight to heat up the place, but it also saves energy because you are less dependent on artificial lighting, because we're a transparent medium, and daylight will always be part of the basic illumination. So you don't need that artificial light, so you save also on that energy. So then it became a sustainable proposition as well. That's, yeah, then the meaningful content, sustainable, yeah, that's our goal. That's where we want to go. We want to enrich people, and we now have at Rotterdam The Hague Airport, one of our installations, we show poetry by the poet laureate from the Netherlands. And the poetry is, apart from the poem that people can read, it's also glare control. So it's also functional. So if you're not into poetry, at least you have a more comfortable experience there, because we control the amount of daylight entering the building. But it's just nice that people who might never have read poetry or never would are sitting waiting for their plane, and they read poetry, because it's coming by every 5 minutes. We have that poem coming up, and yeah, that is our content. And at the airport, Rotterdam The Hague Airport, the CEO also encouraged us to just show artistic work. So I already have commercials everywhere. Let's focus on branding the airport. How can we? Because they just did a new terminal. He said, I like that. Let's have a huge screen for artistic endeavors. And yeah, that helps branding the airport, and it also helps them in regional support, because we show regional art academies work from students. We show regional art museums work, and that has therefore also it builds on the support from the region. So I think that art and artistic endeavors, that it has a lot of value, and I want to unlock that in the public domain. But you can show commercials, yes, as well. You can show commercials, and being in that business, I've been in there for more than 15 years. Some commercials are really nice. Yeah, they are really worth showing. And yeah, then also if you together with that brand develop something that is made for Video Window, then it really all comes together.
Yeah, I mean, that it's such a win-win in so many different respects. I mean, you get to help, with climate control and be energy efficient. But I really love the part where you talk about the shared experience and the ability to bring people together.